Well, I know you had the setback not too long ago, but 4-1 your last 5, that's a nice little run, man. What do you feel like the key is to your success right now?
I just think that physically and mentally I'm at the strongest I've ever been. And I just think that the move up to 170 is just going to be a dramatic change in my whole career. I think that not having to focus on my weight cut is going to be the difference between, an up-and-comer and a true contender. I think that mentally it was so draining getting down to 55, especially with that Auburn Mercer fight where I took it on 5 weeks' notice. More than I look back at it, I'm like, oh, I regret the decision to take a 5 weeks' notice when I was 195 pounds, but it's also a blessing in disguise because it forced me to go to 170. You think about one judge sees it different, and I'm still fighting at 55, killing myself, feeling like crap, hating life. So I really think that at the end of the, when my career is said and done, I think that fight is going to be the really changing the trajectory of my career. And I think I should have moved up to 70 a while ago, and I think the best of me is yet to come still.
It's interesting because I feel like it's not a huge trend yet, but I feel like you are part of kind of this growing group of guys that's realizing this weight cut is not good. What does it take for you to get there and to accept that, no, I can compete with these guys at 170?
Yeah, well, honestly, what happened was when I first came in the UFC, I had no martial arts background. I was 3 years into training. And my skill set wasn't at like a high level yet. So I was like, I needed that weight advantage. Okay, so I was like, I need to cut this extra weight. I want to be the bigger man to try to wear on these guys and get the advantage I can. And now my skill set, I feel like, is an elite level. And I think that that's why the move up to 170 made sense, is where, I also have a long frame. So I'm not going to get in there and have a reach disadvantage or a size disadvantage. They may be a little heavier than me, but I think my skill set is at a high level now, and I think that now is the time to make that move up.
Very nice. Talk about the matchup that you got here with Ryan. When you got the name, what was your initial thought? Did you like it? What was your feel?
Well, actually, I kind of knew that I was going to fight him right away, is what I heard, was that was the fight they wanted. For some reason, Sean thinks that we're like the two most boring fighters in the UFC. This is what I heard. This is a true story. This isn't a joke. He's like, nah, these guys are, the two most boring fighters, and pretty much he's going to try to weed us out, so the loser's done, I talked to Ryan a little bit too. I think this is his last fight on his contract, so I don't know if they're probably going to re-sign him anyways. And really, I think they just, I don't know what it is. So I got to go out there, I got to have a hell of a performance, and I wanted to fight right away. I didn't want to wait on the sidelines this long. This was way too long of a layoff. Especially, I was like, I moved up to 70 to be active, to build momentum and to keep fighting. So this 5-6 months kind of sucked waiting on the sidelines, and I was begging the UFC for fights, And honestly, I think Sean don't like me. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I think we need to have like a little grappling match or something. Just like
work it out.
Just work it out a little bit. Get through the kinks, and try to figure out what's going on. But really, I do have the biggest opportunity. Just being on the biggest card where. Yes, we're the first fight of the night, but there's still going to be more eyes on this card, a lot more media press on this card. So this is my opportunity to really seize this opportunity and make the most of it.
Are you entering the fight angry? I mean, when you hear something like that, like the UFC is kind of betting against you or something, are you pissed off?
I mean, I'm not pissed off. I feel a little disrespected just because I feel like you look at my first 4 fights and you're like, oh, this guy's not a high-level UFC level fighter. If you want to say I was a UFC level fighter, then you look at my last 5. I feel like you can look in there and you can see maybe a boring performance or something like that you want to call it. But you can also look in there and be like, this guy's got some real skills and a real possibility of being a top-level fighter. And I think that with fighting Ryan, he's a top 20 fighter. He was ranked top 15 2 fights ago. And it gives me this opportunity to really showcase, hey, I'm a high-level fighter, and I can be a real contender in this division. And then really, people kept saying, oh, you got to find a fighter. Find us an opponent that you can destroy. So I told Sean, no, fuck you. Find an opponent you think is going to destroy me. Then let's find out, right? That's why I was trying to fight, hey, let's fight Mike Perry. Let's fight a Cowboy Cerrone. They haven't given me any names like that. They haven't given me an opportunity to be high on a card, fight a high-level name, or a guy that's going to really come out and try to take me out. Let's fight a guy like that. I'm not scared of that. I've welcomed opportunities like that. I've welcomed fights like that. Those guys don't scare me. Listen, I'm telling you right now, those guys are easy fights. The platform to beat a guy like a Mike Perry or Donald Cerrone has been laid out time and time again. Is just clean crisp striking, aggressive boxing, and really I think that that's the fight after I beat Ryan that I want. I think that no other fight would make sense other than a high level, a high spot on a top card or a top level 15 fighter. But before I get too far ahead of myself, right? I got Ryan LaFleur. That's a real tough fighter that I have to go out and put away.